Hey, hi everyone. My name is Varsha and welcome to Study with Varsha. So we have completed our Jenkins series. So today we are going to discuss 50 questions about the Jenkins which interviewer can ask in interview, and this video is for 0 to 5 year of experience people. So if you are following my Jenkins series, so this video is for you. And even though if you are preparing for the AWS DevOps or any DevOps engineer job role, then this video is for you. So without any further delay, let's start. The first question is, what is Jenkins and why it is used in DevOps? So the answer is very simple. First thing is that Jenkins is an open source automation server. Open source means anyone can use it, and it is used to implement CI/CD in DevOps. What do you mean by CI/CD? It means continuous integration plus continuous delivery. So it automates stages of the software development lifecycle, like code build, testing, deployment, monitoring. All things we can automate with the help of Jenkins. So for example, first developer will push their code to the GitHub commit will be there, then Jenkins will trigger the job, that will build and test, and then Docker build will happen, and that it will go to the deploy to the Kubernetes. Some of the features is there why it has been used, because Jenkins will provide plugin based architecture, and Jenkins have more than 1800 plus plugins is there. It support distributed builds also, and pipeline as a code in Jenkins. Now integration, it has a tight integration with Git, Docker, Kubernetes, Maven, and SonarQube. Now, why companies use Jenkins only? Because other tools is there, Bitbucket is there, but why Jenkins? Jenkins because it automates manual tasks, faster delivery, software delivery, and reduce human error. It will improves the code quality. That's why we are using Jenkins. And what is Jenkins, that we have understand. Now, the second question is, explain Jenkins architecture. So you may get the question like, tell me the Docker architecture, tell me the Kubernetes architecture. But what about Jenkins architecture? So Jenkins follow a master agent architecture. So first component will be Jenkins master, and master will be responsible for scheduling jobs, managing pipeline, storing configuration, and monitoring agents. Now second is Jenkins agent, that we also called as a slave, master slave, or Jenkins master and Jenkins agent. So agent perform the actual building execution. Example, master sends a job, agent will run the builds. So why agents are used? Because it will provide parallel builds, load distribution can happen, and different environment like Linux, Windows, cloud, that will can do. Now Java will build the code where Linux agent. Now .NET build will Windows agent. So in this way, that is the architecture of Jenkins. Now the next question is, what is a Jenkins pipeline? Yeah, so Jenkins pipeline means it is a set of automated steps that define the CI/CD process. It means instead of configuring UI jobs manually, we write the pipeline as a code using Jenkinsfile. For example, we will write the Jenkins code, then build, then test, then build, and then deploy. So pipeline ensures that it will automation, version control, and reproducibility should be there. The next question is difference between declarative pipeline and scripted pipelines. So that is very important. You should not have to skip this question. So first thing is that declarative is very simple. Scripted is complex. Declarative is like predefined, their structure. But scripted is flexible. And declarative is built in. While scripted is manual. Declarative has a standard pipelines, but scripted has a complex logic. So for example, that is declarative pipeline isn't stages, steps. So that is declarative. But when it comes to scripted, that is used for the complex logics. So scripted pipelines uses Groovy scripting. So most of the companies prefer declarative pipelines. Okay. Now what is Jenkinsfile? So Jenkinsfile is nothing but it is a pipeline definition file written in the Groovy language, and it is stored in the source code repository. Source code repository may be Git or anything. So example, pipeline isn't any stages. In this stage, build, then steps, ambient clean, installer ambient clean package. Now the benefit is that it will provide pipeline as a code, it will provide version control, and it is reusable and we can easily roll back also. So that's why we are using Jenkinsfile. The next question is, what are the different types of jobs? Yeah, so I have made a 30-minute video about the Jenkins job, what are the different types, how it works. So if you didn't watch, go and watch that video. But even though we are discussing here pre-style project, pipeline job, multi-branch pipeline, folder, example job, Maven projects. So most of the modern CI/CD uses pipeline job only. But for small work, we use freestyle job project also. Now, what is a multi-branch pipeline? That is very important because multi-branch pipeline automatically creates pipeline for each branch in the Git repository. So like main, DevOps, the multiple branches will be there, na? Main, develop, feature branch, feature payment branch. So Jenkins automatically detects new branches and runs pipelines, and it will build as a PR, okay? So when heavily in GitHub based CI system, we use multi-branch pipeline. Now, what is Blue Ocean in Jenkins? So Blue Ocean is nothing but it is a modern UI for Jenkins pipeline. Here, like we can visual pipeline view, we can see easy debugging is there, pipeline virtualization is there, and Git integration is also there. Now, how Jenkins integrate with Git? So we can integrate Jenkins with Git or anything with the help of Git plugin, or we can say with the help of plugin. Now developer push the code to the GitHub. Now with the help of Jenkins webhook, Jenkins pipeline will trigger. Like if you go to the manage Jenkins, like development, and then features is there. If you'll go, you will get it. Now steps will be there: configure Git repository in Jenkins, and then add credentials, set up webhook in Jenkins, and Jenkins trigger will get to build. Now what is a Jenkins agent? So agent is nothing but it is a machine that executes Jenkins job. Agent is nothing but it's a kind of machine. Example, master that is going to schedule a job, that is also working like a machine. And agent, or we can say slave, that is execute a job. So that is of different types like static agent, dynamic agent, Kubernetes agent, Docker is also agent. Now what are the Jenkins plugin? Here you should not have to confuse. Plugins and agent both are different things. So plugin extend Jenkins functionality like Git plugin, Docker plugin. See, agent is maintain the execute Jenkins, but plugin is extend functionality only. Kubernetes plugin, SonarQube plugin, Slack plugins, and multiple plugins is there. So you should not have to confuse between agent and plugin. Now, what is the Jenkins workspace? So workspace is nothing but it is a directory where Jenkins store project files during build. So example, varlib Jenkins workspace and project name. So there only it will contain source code, build files, and logs. Now, what is Jenkins build trigger? So build trigger starts Jenkins job automatically, like with the help of Poll SCM, GitHub webhook, or build after other project, cron job. So with the multiple ways is there, you can set your job and it's no need to run manually. It will automatically trigger and your job is going to be start and complete. Now, difference between Poll SCM and webhook. Poll SCM is Jenkins check Git repository periodically, means time to time. And webhook is whenever GitHub pushes events to Jenkins instantly, webhook is preferred because faster, no polling overhead. What are Jenkins stages? So stages different steps we can show. Build, test, deploy, or Docker build and then deploy. So test multiple stages there. In test also like unit test, multiple test is there. Now what are the Jenkins steps? So steps command execute inside stages, okay, that is like sh ambient clean package or clean install, that is steps. Now what is Jenkins shared libraries? So shared libraries allow reusing pipeline code across multiple projects, that is nothing but shared libraries. Like if you are no Python, Java, so there also have some libraries is there and that we can use it. So in the same way, like Jenkins also have some projects we can see, or shared libraries. So that is beneficial because we can reuse, and that is centralized pipeline logic, so we can use it. Now, what is Jenkins distributed builds? So distributed build means running build on multiple agents simultaneously. Like one master node will be there, multiple worker node will be there, or slave will be there, master server, slave server. So it is faster, and load balancing will be there. Now, how to secure Jenkins? It is good question. So we can enable authentication, we can use RBAC, we can say role based access control with the help of HTTPS, credential store, and disable anonymous access, never hard code, like that we can store. What is Jenkins credential management? So Jenkins stores secrets securely. Example, Git tokens, AWS keys, Docker credentials. So we can, there is an option in Jenkins, manage Jenkins credentials, and there you can keep it. It will encrypt. So it will be confidential. How Jenkins deploy application to Kubernetes? So it is asking about steps. So here you have to say, okay, how to deploy application to Kubernetes? First we will build the code, then we'll create the Docker image, and that image we will push to the Docker Hub or ECR, any Docker registry, and then we will deploy it the kubectl using kubectl apply-f deployment.yaml and kubectl apply-f service.yaml, and this way we can deploy on Kubernetes, like that you can say. Now, what is Jenkins pipeline stage view? Stage view, it shows visual representation of pipeline stages. It will helps to find, or we can say identify field stages and execution time. So that is also a stage. Okay. Now, how do you integrate SonarQube with Jenkins? So for integration, first SonarQube plugin should be there. So we will install SonarQube plugin, then we'll configure with the server, and we will add one steps in the pipeline itself, like Sonar scanner, and in that way we can configure, integrate. Now, how Jenkins integrate with Docker? Same, pipeline build Docker image, then Docker build -t my app Docker push. What is Jenkinsfile isn't directive? Isn't directive means where pipeline will run. So example, isn't any, if you are giving, or we can give any agent like Docker agent or any agent. What is Jenkins artifact? Artifact is nothing but, for anything, artifact is the final product of the code. So artifact are build output stored after build. So jar, var, Docker image, that is only artifact. What is Jenkins build history? Jenkins build history means that will store logs of previous builds for debugging, tracking failure, like that. Now, how do you handle Jenkins pipeline failure? So we can handle by retry, timeout, post action. We can make whenever we are writing the pipeline, like okay, post, if it will fail, then send to this company. Like we used to mention, okay, if it will get succeed, we will get mail. So like that also, okay, if it will fail, we will get the mail, like that we can handle. Now, what is Jenkins node level? Node level means level assigned job to a specific agent. Okay. Now, what is Jenkins parallel stage? Parallel stage is nothing but that will allow multiple stages to run simultaneously. Parallel means stage unit, stage integration, and improves pipeline speed also. Now, what is Jenkins backup strategy? There should be some backup, correct? So in var lib Jenkins, that will contain job, config, plugin. So if we need to be backup, we can get the things from here. What is Jenkins build executor? That will execute number of parallel build per node. What is Jenkins upstream and downstream job? So upstream job trigger downstream job. Example, build, test, and deploy. So up and down. Now, what is Jenkins environment variable? Environment variable is nothing but that is env.build number. So if you are running any Jenkins file and build now, then you will get some number. Okay, build number 1, 2, 3, 4. That is only Jenkins environment variable, and that we will use in the pipeline. How do you integrate Jenkins with Slack or email? We can use Slack plugin, or we can use example Slack send message build success, like that, or email we can also use. What is cron syntax? cron, you know na, 5-star will be there. So that will hour and all, so that will only job we can set according to our requirement. If you want to know this, you can go and check my Jenkins series, you will get this answer. What is Jenkins replay features? Replay feature means there you are getting we can say things to allow pipeline editing and the script even after the failure of the job for the debugging purpose. That is only nothing but replay features. What is Jenkins pipeline timeout? That error we used to get na. It means timeout means time is 10, minute is minute. So it stops after 10. The Jenkins job is stop after that time limit. So that is only timeout. What is Jenkins stash and unstash? So that is used to transfer file between stages. Now, what is Jenkins input step? So input means manual thing, manual approval, input deploy to production, yes, no, like that we can use. Choose is also a input. So that also I have explained in my videos. How do you scale Jenkins? So there are multiple ways, like multiple agent, Kubernetes agents, Docker agent. Now, what is Jenkinsfile post section? So this also I already told and I'm not going to repeat it. What is Jenkins quiet period? Quiet period means delayed before job start. Now, what are Jenkins fingerprints? So fingerprint will track artifact across all the builds. Now, what is Jenkins matrix project? So that is used to build or run on multiple environment. What is Jenkins node monitor? That is agent health only. Now, what is Jenkins global tool configuration? Maven, JDK, Git. What is Jenkins parameterized build? Parameterized build means allow user input parameter like dev, prod, like that. Now, what is Jenkins pipeline library? Reusable pipeline code repository. And this is going to be the last question. What are the common Jenkins interview scenario question you can ask or like pipeline failure due to high disk full, agent not connecting, Git webhook trigger, Docker will failure, and plugin conflict. So interviewer will ask on this topic. So if you think that this topic I didn't cover, tell me or comment in the comment box. I will try to cover more and more questions. So thank you for watching Study with Varsha. Have a great day, guys. And last but not the least, today is 8th of March. So happy Women's Day.